And then the Vegas grids have been kind of allowed for different people. We have some people who are traveling to Vegas. There are others who were in Vegas recently and kind of brought this awareness into my attention, Rachel's attention. I don't know if everybody knows Rachel or has met her. She has some friends too, so we all have our grid working network, and we're all gridded and connected to one another. And we're all connected. I personally haven't been to Vegas, and I was talking to Leslie like 13 years, maybe even longer than that, 12, 13 years, and I think she shared the same. Yeah, I'll just take a look here. Thank you for dropping that in. But the Vegas, so we'll just hop into it, and then the way the grid play works, especially, yeah, thank you. I'm just going to download these because I like to have them for our, like I'll show them at the end, and I know that you have to leave in an hour, so we're going to just kind of attune, get together, do some code channeling. The way the grid play works is essentially what we'll do is we'll open sacred space together, focus on a topic. I have a bunch of stuff for Vegas specifically. Some people have been doing some channeling, and we'll kind of just collectively decide how we want to get after it. And that's the purpose, is every single person here is key and vital. Your frequency, your vibration, your grids that you are bringing, your codes, your keys are all really, really key to what we're doing. For Vegas specifically, there's a couple different ways to get after it. I'll share just a little bit from the person who was there recently, but I don't want it to necessarily be everything that we focus on, because I want what comes through to be organic to us, and I want it to be our channeling specifically, and we'll decide kind of collectively. But the code channeling piece is essentially we'll just drop in together, and then we'll start code channeling. Maybe we'll start with an objective or two to just kind of warm up. I have a couple ideas. Oops, sorry, the little chair there. I have a couple ideas of some things to focus on, but it's grid work specific. So really like strengthening, reinforcing the Vegas grid energetically. I got a ping for like the elements as well are stepping forward, elementals. And I'm really excited. I want to hear what's coming through for everyone here. And we'll just essentially go kind of like popcorn style. Maybe we'll focus on something, and then we're co-channeling, and you can go you can use whatever method is available to you, whether it's like astrally, etherically, remote viewing. I use a combination of all these techniques. What I would say specifically for Vegas is this is an energetically dense grid. That's kind of why it's caught a lot of people's attention. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all focus on like illusion and distortion. I don't know if that's necessarily the point, but that is certainly, I would say, a portion of it. And that's kind of why we're here. And the timing of the Vegas grid specifically is really interesting because people are traveling there from our community that we grid with, JJ's community, and also families are going to be heading that way to Vegas because their family members are there as well too. So we just want to like basically infuse some light, maybe connect the grids, connect into the elements, bridging different things, and we can just go based on whatever is coming through for everybody. Today, since it's the first meeting, really it's going to be about kind of like channeling, attuning, seeing what comes up really loud, and then getting after that in like a really aligned way. It doesn't necessarily need to be super masculine, doesn't need to be super feminine. You know, ideally we would use the teamwork, grid working approach, calling in our guides and all of that. So does that answer your question? I know I'm kind of like just giving a big general overview, but this is also our first meeting for Vegas too, so
Okay.
let me know. Yeah.
My question, oh, I didn't have questions.
I mean, well, does that like help kind of explain what you were?
Oh yeah, I just didn't know because it seemed like in the Telegram you guys had done some other work on Vegas previously.
Mm-hmm.
And I just meant like I didn't have context on what had already been like worked on, but I appreciate you kind of giving the rundown of the group, and I fully am on board, ready to go.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
put some music on, and we'll hop in since you only got an hour. But really, again, I'm gonna key up the music here, and we'll open space and hop in. start channeling. See, my computer is getting retrograded. It's interesting. It was working fine up until we're ready to actually do something, and then it's like, nope. So I'm going to share the music here. And again, it'll be popcorn style, whatever comes through, unless we're like in an actual guided meditation or something like that. Nope. Wrong one second. Technology together. Thank you for your patience. I'm just trying to get some music on for us. Feel free to grab your crystals, tarot, oracle, runes. Okay, advanced computer audio. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. And again, we'll just kind of really, the whole point of this meeting is if we can get after some stuff grid working wise, absolutely, I would be so excited and stoked. But really it's more about calibrating, attuning, channeling, gridding, connecting. I'm getting a ping for some elemental stuff. I got a bunch of grid working sites that are coming through. And then as far as the, feel free to like tone, sing, hum, buzz. The previous grid working, I try to drop into the Vegas specific channel. And again, it's there really for reference, not so much not so much that you need to like dive into it. The grid working that is done is already done. It's nice to kind of have an idea of what the base is, and I'll talk some about what the person who visited there recently saw, and that's some of the stuff that is really loud for me because she was there, she experienced it, we felt it in the grids, and did some initial grid working. So if you're ever interested, and I'll just start a plug before we drop in doing side missions, side grid work, please, absolutely. I am fully aligned to all that stuff. I love grid working. I'm a very gifted channel. I've done grid working internationally since 2021. So we run side missions all the time. Energetically getting after all types of points of interest. If you're interested in something specifically, absolutely excited to connect with you and your city and your friends. And yeah, we do all types of grid working stuff that isn't public and that isn't done in the Telegram. Other local city mission stuff that we focus on and stuff with our in-person friends that we're gridding as well too. So just putting that seed out there. If you have a special interest or you want more people to assist you and your friends in grid working, please reach out and connect with us because we're really, really excited and this is the kind of reason that we all get together. So thank you so much. Starting off with gratitude. So grateful for every single person that's here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up fully sovereign, fully safe. Starting to find your breath, settling into your body as we open our space together. And I always like to open, I'm kind of meticulous with our opening because I think, especially for the Vegas grids, we're always very intentional, very conscious when we open sacred space and we close out sacred space. It just keeps every single person in here energetically safe and well grounded. All of our containers are gridded and well grounded, and we've been working together for a while, all of us have. So really, really excited to have you with us, Caitlin. Thank you so much. Plug my computer in here. Yes, inviting in your guides. Your higher self, highest, purest essence, whatever verbiage works for you. Get your wiggles in, settling into the body, waking up those meridians energetically. your central column, your central pillar, chronic cord. Calling in and welcoming in all of the 5 elements: air, earth, water, fire, ether, the 4 directions: north, south, east, west, as above and so below. And there's a large amount of guides stepping forward. Let's take some time here, and I'm going to have you call in your specific guides into our space. Healed Indigenous Councils. The Inner Earth Council, specifically around and centered on Las Vegas and the surrounding areas. The Healed Indigenous Councils for the Las Vegas Metroplex and the surrounding areas, extending out past the Mojave. So much dragon frequency coming in too. A lot of dragon. Your council, personal and galactic. And starting to get a lot coming in. I'll give you some more time here. When you're ready, once you feel complete with opening your space and calling in your councils, your helpers, guides, gods, goddess, deities, starting to call forward your intention for our session today. Bringing forward that intention into our sacred space. Breathing in that intention and activating it. Both personal and also collective. Feel free to state your intention out loud into the chat. You can unmute if that feels aligned. If not, it's okay. Don't forget to breathe, wiggle the body. You are safe, you are grounded, inviting in our inner children, the galactic children, to weave with us as well. Any pertinent multidimensional soul aspects. Activating your personal intention and our collective intention together now. stating the intention that all grid work is for our highest and greatest good, in accordance with the golden crystalline timeline template and above. Diamond, if you're working with that frequency as well. Even though we will be interacting with potential distortion grids, our container is gridded, protected, free from distortion, free from illusion, as we weave the frequency of unity consciousness and calling in the original organic divine blueprint. And then once you feel complete, I'll give you a little bit more time here. We'll start taking a look at some of these. Natalia said, can we call them the tribal elders, ancestors of the land, and our ancestors? Absolutely. Thank you, Sharon. The cards. I'm just going to pull the cards up and look real quick while everybody's coming back here. If you have anything that's like immediately loud or relevant, feel free to unmute. Turn the music down just a little bit. Just going to take a look at the cards. Ooh, the Galactic Dragon. Yes. Galactic Dragon. The Ascension Flame is really loud to me, too. Golden Phoenix. Like that. You're going to see me, I'm just writing down notes, just seeing what pings.
I don't know, but I was dropped the message like to realign our spinal column, like from top to bottom. Like, they're showing the, especially at the tailbone, it's kind of like to have a strong bone, strong structure. Just perhaps daily stretching, qigong, getting the flow back, the yin and the yang of our being, our whole being, mitochondrial, to everything back into alignment. And the breath, to stay with the breath, pranayama breath, yeah, combined with the somatic yoga. So the somatic, they're showing like ground this part, the lower part of our body, the pelvic area, and then doing it with the breath, the fire breath. Be mindful of our nervous system and our immune system all at once. That's what I was being given at the moment. Oh, you see me kind of like moving and everything like that. It's just kind of like trying to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Calibrating everything.
The spinal cord has been so loud. And even as we started, it was like, it's like the nape of the neck, the top of the spinal cord, I was fine. And then once we started connecting, I was like, oof. I'm just feeling like I'm not connected to anybody's specific energy, really just the frequency of our container overall. Just for, energetics. I like that Sharon posted the Galactic Dragon. In some of the notes that I had posted too, the person who was previously in Vegas had picked up on, we're calling it the Universal Dragon. So a dragon that was like, basically, that's the dragon that they felt into in Vegas, the Universal Dragon. And then the dragon where I'm located at, so we kind of have like a a perfect thirds in a way. We call the Gateway Dragon, which is, I'm located in Salt Lake City.
That is interesting.
The Galactic Dragon is the, oh yeah, go ahead. You can just unmute, Caitlin. I don't know if your thing just wants you to raise your hand or what.
You can finish though.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, the Galactic Dragon, if you weren't tracking in our Telegram, the Galactic Dragon is a dragon that some of us have been working with for a while, since the end of June when we had a meetup. And the eye of the dragon is Arcturus, which is like the third or fourth brightest star in the sky. And it's this massive dragon. It takes up a large amount of the sky. It's really bright. If you look up and you see a bright star, that's probably Arcturus, unless you're staring directly at Vegas, which in the U.S. is like overhead. But if you're just staring out, the first brightest star that catches your eye is Arcturus. That is the eye of the dragon. And I've had like multiple hour conversations with the Galactic Dragon, who is here to assist us in many, many different ways. A lot of us have connections to Arcturus or Arcturian or the councils. I was feeling a lot of councils stepping forward, specifically Syrian. There's a council in Vegas that I was channeling into as well, but I really want to hear what's coming through for you. What's coming through in your channel?
So I have worked a lot with Arcturians, like healing and stuff, and just to tap on what Natalia was saying, like, so this golden DNA kind of upgrade is not necessarily our DNA, it is our spinal column that is getting fed the codes through our nervous system. And so there is this expansion that's happening, and it is important to stay aligned because, and I think what I was feeling, just to kind of glom onto that, is that this happens when I have like a lot of like physical kind of movement, when I have to be faster than like some denser kind of stuff that wants to attach to me. And if we are like not necessarily, we don't have to necessarily be fast, but if we're not aligned, then any of these like dense energies, especially working in places like Vegas, have easier access. So having that really good health in your spine, having the stretching, having the breathing, having the pranayama, doing all of those things and eating healthy is going to help keep us kind of protected when there is the shadow crap that likes to, come out and make us return to fear. So, but like I was building like this gigantic fortress around this container while you were opening, Glenn, and like it's activated me to like kind of keep it kind of going. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just keeping it super like high positive energy.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And you and Leah confirmed kind of what this has been a theme that we've been working with for weeks, probably approaching a month now, maybe even a little bit longer, about the spine, coming in through the spine, through the nervous system, the infusion of plasma as well. I don't know, we talked about on some of the playbacks as well, coming in through the lungs, into the intercostal spaces in between. Can you hear me?
No, I was just saying in the ears too.
Oh yeah, in the ears, absolutely. I was just chatting with someone this morning about the ears. A lot of like high pitched pressure coming into the ears, but like it's getting into the fascia. The plasma is getting into the fascia through the lungs. The intercostal spaces connecting your fascia, and then your whole fascia system is essentially connected. And I've seen it in many different ways in the body. I shared a link in there, and I'll pull it up here in a minute if you're a visual person, to kind of allow you to take a look at the city of Las Vegas. And there are a bunch of different grid points. And like I said, we don't necessarily, I want us to kind of attune in and see what's coming through for us specifically. And we won't have anything, I'm just kind of leaving it really general because I want us to kind of really calibrate and attune to the Vegas grid itself. And there is fear, there is distortion, there is illusion, but this isn't something that needs to be overwhelming at all whatsoever. That's the reason why we are assisting the collective, assisting our brothers and sisters with the Vegas grid. We are well calibrated, high frequency, well attuned, extremely, extremely protected. And I'll bring to a point, and I won't mention a specific grid just yet, but I have a couple points written on there. like mainly, it's just a couple points. It's like the Strip is like a, everybody knows about the Strip in Las Vegas, or most people should know. Nellis Air Force Base was standing out. The Mojave Desert was standing out for me. A lot of things happen at the base there in Vegas. It's kind of a convergence for the military-industrial war complex in a lot of different ways. People come from all over the world and exercise together and practice their skills at war, essentially. So there's a lot of different ways that we can get after it. I was tuning into kind of the pyramid frequency too. There is at Luxor, there's like, glass pyramid. Yeah, hey Sharon, welcome. Yep, activating the water at the Bellagio. That's a good place to start. Let's actually start with that. I think that's the water Codex has been huge for us. A lot of us are connected to water in many different ways. So if we want to kind of, we'll just start with Sharon's point here, because I want us to Mojave Desert. Okay, yeah. So let's, if we want to tune in specifically to the Bellagio, so I'm going to pull the Bellagio up on here, and if we want to kind of tune in and see what we want to connect it to, if we're just activating it. Okay, and I'm going to pull it up and let's take a look actually. Okay, so let me share this. And you don't have to like wait for me or anything. Feel free to tap in yourself. And I want to hear what's coming through for you, please. Whatever you see, hear, feel is critical, because it helps all of us kind of attune together. So here we go. I'm going to share that. This is a visual reference for you. If you have some codes or light language, activating the fountains at the Bellagio. We just had the water codex too with quantum harmonization a few weeks ago. It feels really pertinent. I got a ping for the fountains in Rome as well too, but for now I'm just going to focus on this fountains. And feel free to unmute if you have something that's coming through specifically. There's like a giant X as well, right next to it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Save to the project. Done. So I'll update that point. You may have the refreshers on your side, but yeah, if we're zooming out here and just looking at the architecture, the grid itself, it's interesting. I'm getting a ping that the fountains themselves, and here's something that we can start with. And feel free to unmute if you got something to add, please. Or love, like the whole purpose is we want to co-channel together. So these fountains were designed by a specific person. The person who developed these fountains actually designed the fountains that are right outside where I'm at the gateway in Salt Lake City. So ours is significantly smaller, but it's the same exact person. So I think what we'll do is we'll start by connecting that that codex, that water codex, that frequency.
I'm looking at the pan out. It looks like a heart, to be honest. Like the pan and how you look at it, to me, it looks like the left ventricle of the heart, just half of a heart. But it also can be the brain hemisphere, the other half of the brain hemisphere. You know how you look at it. And then I see the aorta connecting it. So it's pumping, right? It's pumping blood supply, neurons towards the heart or the brain. Somehow, some way, it got cut off, and it's broken. The code, the codex is broken because there's a completion to what I'm trying to say in fullness. It's blocking. I feel it's blockage. And that's half of it. And whoever designing this, uh, there's a disconnect part. It's not flowing freely. You see how small on the right side of it? And why is that by itself? I'm not getting it. Something to do with the land. Um, could be possibly there's an underwater primordial water that is super sacred and tribal, sacred tribal, ancient tribal connection. No. Oh, 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 the, oh, the, we are at the, ew, ew, no. Connecting to the tribe, the indigenous tribe, the true people of the land. They want me to say ownership, but it doesn't feel right for me to say ownership.
Yeah, I like what Caitlin was sharing about thousands of people watch this fountain every day. They play in the water, the kids do. So taking some time to, energize, grid, alchemize these fountains specifically. And then there's kind of a perfect thirds happening in a way too. If you're looking at the picture on the right, you got two additional waters, like one that's close by the X and then one to the right or the east side of the X here. In this area as well too. So just setting an intention for cleansing, clearing, activating of the fountain specifically. And thank you for what you were sharing, Leah, too. That's beautiful.
If we're working on the waters, I believe the Venetian has all of the waterways like you are in Venice. At least that's what I recall when I went there, but that was, again, over 20 years ago. So
No, I was getting that ping too. What is it called? Venusian?
the Venetian, Venetian, like Venice, Venetian,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was actually getting a ping for the water there as well. I think this is it. This is South Expo or Resort. The resort, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, pretty close.
It's probably the
Zoom into
street.
that.
And I don't know what came to me as well is not just necessarily the Strip, but also Fremont, Old Vegas, more the adult area, not so much the family friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a moment here before we move on. I want to kind of focus on what you brought up, gridding of the because I got this ping as well too. Of the fountain to the water that's over here as well, and the Venetian. I was looking at the rides themselves is what I was getting a ping for because there's a lot of water connected to. Well, so I'm just going to zoom out so we can see where just kind of let's see, right there. Yeah, so we got the fountains. So we got two large water codices. Just spending a moment here before we yeah, cleansing, clearing, activating, harmonizing came through. Restoring. I got a ping too as well. Natalia brought that up too about the inner earth, the primordial waters. But for now, I'm just going to focus on specifically like within the grid, but if that feels aligned for you to connect, I just want to make sure that I'm being shown a water spirit too. Water spirit? Yeah, a water elemental. That's what I'm being shown actually. And since we have a connection to the designer here, and I'm literally like probably, I don't know, 50 yards away from the fountain, spread outside my building, where I'm sitting at right now. I'm going to connect that fountain into the fountain at the Bellagio, which is gridded to the Venetian. This is for us, our inner waters. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Caitlin, the ones that you shared, is that up? Okay, let me go up to that one. Did I miss it? Yeah, you can unmute and just let me know.
The spot on the map was right there, to the left of your mouse. Go down a little bit. Go down a little bit more and to the left. And it was something like what I don't remember what Natalia you said specifically, that right there, that big patch of earth and these spirals, and it's the same codex as the water, but it's the land, right? So it's that missing. I felt like it was that other half.
Yeah, let's see if I can drop a point here. I'm sure there's something close by. Yeah, there's a lot of water right there. Got some triangles. Just zooming in.
Yeah, somehow, some way, the strip itself, it cuts off. When they built the strip, the roadway, right? It cut off all of the connection that it's meant to be. It's literally, it's like the bam. That's what they're showing me. Like there's like this. It's a sword. They're showing me a sword that's like cut in half. Not even in half. It's like there's so many fractures of it. Hence, we get to heal it. I think that's why more of the native language, the land language coming up for me. I feel that for me, being called to connect the primordial water at this moment.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up, Caitlin, as well, too. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Sharon.
Did we find out what that is? Because what I was kept on thinking of was seeing the zoo. I can't remember where it was at, Siegfried and Roy. But if you go around that big waterway that we're looking at, that big pond, whatever it is, that round part of the road is actually called Siegfried Siegfried and Roy?
It's the Mirage Hotel.
The
That was the
Mirage?
Mirage. Yeah,
Okay,
that was it, the
right.
Mirage, and then the other one is the Venetian.
Okay, yeah. Because I feel like the Tropicana was really close to. I couldn't remember which one
Mm-hmm.
had the zoo that I remember going to. And it was the
Yeah,
one where the tigers were at and
yeah,
such. So,
the Mirage.
okay.
And that's it have a connection with Paris Hotel because they were showing me the Eiffel Tower. So why was the Eiffel Tower Paris? What was the original hotel, or what was the original point of Paris resort? So we get to go back to the origin point of that.
Oh, what was there before the Paris Hotel?
Yeah, yeah.
It might have been the Stardust where I spent my honeymoon at.
This if that's right, then that's correct because it's like, all of this name carries meaning, right? So we get to rewrite that into the storyline.
The
That's
Paris
what they're saying.
Hotel, I just pulled it up, is that big X that's
Ah,
Bellagio, across from the Bellagio that I was saying was like the chiastolite, which I pulled randomly, but this is like the Wayfarer's kind of cross, right? This is the Rosicrucian's cross. And I just wanted to drop in, if you don't mind, because when I pulled that, I
Absolutely.
can never say it, Teotihuacan
Hmm.
card. Somebody else can say it better than me. The Aztec cross is like right there in the card, and the fact that that is, I pulled that with another deck that I don't ever use, the Exorcist, which not necessarily like an archetypism, but it's like it's releasing like the impulses to like destroy, right? The symbolism of like the destruction of life, the destruction of like the land, the destruction of people's lives, and the abuse of power is very much relative to like human sacrifice.
Uh,
And with the
yeah, absolutely.
Teotihuacan, that like, that's why it was feeling so powerful. But Paris being the cross right there, I think that this is absolutely the area of focus for today. Sorry, I
And
overshared,
no,
but
you're good. No, you're perfect. I just wanted to point out too that the ping that I got is, since we're on the water specifically, very pertinent too. Like, it reminded me, so like calling in the elements to basically help with the gridding that we're doing. So in Mexico, they have the cenotes. Vincent pointed out in the chat, and I want to focus on both of these frequencies, and let's just kind of be, like conscious on the way that we're gridding. He says they pull their water from the Colorado River, brother to the Nile, need to bring in the Green Desert Southwest template. So let's take some time here specifically. Let's start with Vincent's, and then actually, well, let's start with Caitlin's, and then we'll move to Vincent's. I know Caitlin's going to be heading out here in a minute, but let's start with yours, and if you want to, you can feel free to share codes, talk us through it. I got the ping specifically for the cenotes, which is like very primordial, deep waters. The deep waters, it's like giving it like some womb frequency, but really just gridding in this water codex, codices, into the specific area that we're looking at and connecting. So just taking a moment here to energetically focus on that. Gridding of the elements, the elementals, Mama Gaia, the primordial frequencies, the cenote itself, with what you brought in, Teotihuacan, the cross frequency. Or what, it was a specific cross though, right? You said Rosicrucian, and was one other one too.
yeah, I was just that just dropped in my head, the Rosicrucian cross, which is, the Crusaders and whatnot, and then we're like talking about the Holy Grail. Um, but it is no yeti akashani to ari niki ianati yet asanori and the inner earth waters definitely are like part of this whole process where it's like we need to break this apart, but the water is the only that's like the strongest force, and it's not forceful, right? It's gentle. The water is what the water knows what to do, the water knows where to go, right? So I definitely feel like the water is key here. And I'm seeing like the electrical kind of some like power generators by water somewhere maybe nearby. Oh, the Hoover Dam is nearby. So maybe I'll go grid that to this. And I know that we were talking about doing the Nile to kind of bring that in as well. So the Hoover Dam, the Nile, connecting it to Vegas, in the Mississippi River too. And it's all and the cenotes, yes, like Titicaca cenotes, all of the South American. Okay, I'll stop there. Thank you. Yes.
No, please continue. That's kind of the purpose of the code channeling frequency, is we want to follow where the channeling leads us. So never, yeah, you don't have to ever apologize. You're completely fine. Thank you.
Oh, actually, okay, so now I was in the Hoover Dam years ago, but this is also like really interesting. And I had pulled up something with JJ in a group, little small group that we did in the center. There's a lot of like symbolism and astrology in the Hoover Dam that's enchanted. I'm sure that if you've ever been there, it's like there's like it's yeah. So we definitely can call in like our star family with the Hoover.
Yeah, Sharon said the water is holding the fear, shift the fear, activate the water with love. I like that. Absolutely. Kind of give you an idea of where we're at. We said the cenote, Hoover Dam, the Mississippi River. The Colorado River, bringing in what Vincent was sharing too about pulling their water from the Colorado River, which is akin to the Nile, and bringing the green desert southwest template. So if you're not familiar with the green desert template, green Sahara, green Nile, essentially that frequency is like a very lush, very green, connected to the water that activates and that brings life, especially even like the Mississippi, but specifically talking about like the green southwest template. This area is a vast desert. Go ahead.
I was just feeling in like Hathor, like bringing the Nile up, and I was like flipping, like, the green with the brown, right? Bringing the waters up in the Colorado, bringing the waters up. And this is funny because it brings me back in like earlier this year where I was really feeling like there was a flooding needed, not in a like catastrophic way, but a flooding needed to really nourish the center of our country in that way that we've become so cracked and so rigid, right? And so it could be metaphorical, but like mostly we just have become so dense, and it's time to kind of help break down the caked mud essentially and add some water. So full circle. I just want to say thank you again for letting me be part of this, and I appreciate you, and I love you guys all. I had to run though.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Hopefully we get to see you again soon.
Yes.
Thursday, maybe tomorrow.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Yeah. I was hearing like refreshing too, as I was picturing the desert, renew, calling in that like green southwest template that Vincent had. He was calling in as well too.
All right.
Yeah, sending you love.
You know what's interesting? When she was speaking, I was doing the mother Gaia carrying like the womb movement, which is very like just rocking it like side to side, like on a like umbilical cord, womb space, and just like the waterways. It's like cleansing it, cleansing everything, womb cleansing, and just like rocking. It's like a gentle movement, nothing to be forced, just slow, easy. Softness. Softness is the key. Nothing harsh. Almost a whisper. Whispering to the waters, whispering to the land in the native language. And yes, the dragon's coming in. Earth dragon, water dragon coming in. Ooh, yeah, that, ooh, ooh, yeah, that, ah, wah, da, rah, wah, da, da, rah, yeah, da, eh.
Relieve the collective psyche of harsh ego, dense, muddy, emotional manipulation as well. Says Vincent. Yeah, let me know if you can expand on any of that, brother. For sure, absolutely. What I was tapping into as you were talking was, calling in the original organic divine blueprint. And when we're thinking of this area specifically, the indigenous elders step forward. When we were talking about connecting to the land, connecting to the elements, connecting to the earth grids, as like a calibrated, and we're calling in the highest version, the healed indigenous councils, the inner earth council that is from this area as well specifically, and really just asking them to step forward if they have any keys or codes to weave with us, to grid with us, but really remembering that original organic divine blueprint back before this grid was installed, before this overlay was built out in the desert, and absolutely weaving that kind of what Vincent was saying, the harshness, the density, kind of what Caitlin was bringing through too, like that caked, stuck feeling of being within the Vegas grid or the distortion grid. It's built, very, none of it's by accident. It's very methodical. There is like this inorganic overlay, this template that is running there, and that's kind of the purpose of us, attuning and calibrating, and bringing in that water codex too is just like a first step. But asking the Indigenous Council, the Inner Earth Council from this area as well, to bring forward any keys, any codes, in collaboration with our council that we have gathered here, our Grid Working Council. also getting a ping too. Just want to acknowledge and bring into our collective awareness for the purposes of this channeling session. Every single city, and we've channeled this together. I think Vincent was probably the only one that was on the call when we channeled this. Every single city has galactic star family kind of like bases in a way, offices that are there within each city. So you can imagine for whatever star family you're connected to, we were talking about Octurians. The Octurians have an office, a location within Vegas, and you can kind of, if you are connected to them or you just set up an actual intention, you can connect to these offices, these spaces that are that belong to each star family, and that when we connected, when we were doing some grading, me and Lenny were doing some grading specifically out in West Denver and Colorado Springs area, we connected to the local field office, I think is what we were calling them, just to kind of like check in and energetically kind of get the lay of the grids and the land and ask for assistance with the things that we were doing. So if you want to, if that's helpful to you, feel free to tap into your local Star Family field office that you are connected to. That's a good space to kind of work out of or to calibrate into as we're thinking about this this grid specifically. I don't know, Sharon or Leslie or Vincent, anybody else? Daya, Leah, has anything?
I'm getting the Syrians pretty hardcore with the whales singing. Yeah. Um, bringing in the primordial waters connection, cleansing the distorted waters running through Vegas. Yeah. Now, you know the Daya Daya. Yeah. Yeah, the Syrians definitely coming in with working with the waters and such. When you were saying the local office, they instantly popped right out. That was awesome. That was really cool. Thank you for bringing up the local offices for each galactic.
Yeah, and if you got a ping of like a location, let me know if you're channeling something and we'll put it on the map, because anything that we're getting collectively is helpful for all of us, because it's not just us that are gridding Vegas, it's also people that are watching the playback, people that are connecting via the astral, via etheric. So please let me know if something is specific that comes through for you, if you get a location, if you're seeing specific like masculine, feminine, if you can describe the way that they're dressed. All that is really helpful for the rest of us. Luxor Hotel. What do you got at the Luxor? Luxor Hotel, yeah, pull that up. Luxor Hotel came through with the giant mirror reflection pyramid as well, and then connecting that pyramid out and up back to a much more organic Egyptian theme. Yeah. Yeah, gridding that pyramid even all the way up and out to the pyramids that are the Great Pyramid out in Egypt. Vegas has brought these little mini attractions. We were talking about Paris and Little Italy. They brought all these little mini sacred sites into the city, right? And it's not by accident that the little mini sacred sites are within this kind of like grid, right? This little distortion grid. They're attracting people into the grid. They're calling in certain frequencies and energies and channeling them in. So really just want to kind of like acknowledge specifically the Luxor, gridding that to a much more like organic, original divine blueprint as well. Not necessarily like the frequency of a casino, you know, because there's like the financial grids, like a dark mini-me. Yeah. There's the financial grids that are, you know, the that are attached to that. There's like the you know, the overlays of like the mafia that is attached to Vegas. Yeah, like lower dimensional entities and timelines that are kind of weaving in a way. So just wanting to acknowledge that, harmonize, clear, alchemize, transmute, sending light into the Luxor specifically, and making that kind of quantum connection through the grids and the ley lines out to the Great Pyramid, or any other pyramids that you're aware of that are close by. There's pyramids that are closer by that are out in the Grand Canyon, not too far away actually. So we can grid to a much more organic frequency energetically. Some inner Earth Council stepping forward too as well. I just heard the ant people. We've been working with the ant people. They haven't stepped forward in a minute, but yeah, they're connected to the Hopi. The inner Earth, like ant people, they work directly with the Hopi Indians. A lot of tunnels, absolutely. Thank you. And if you have any ideas on you're connected to the Hopi and the Tiwa. Yeah, if anything's coming through for you, please unmute and allow us to I got something here too I'm going to pull up. Yeah, something specifically about the frequency of the airport and Luxor, the Luxor Hotel. So like energetically, the question that came through that I have in our notes that I had posted was what's underneath ? And a mirror grid, maybe Vincent, I don't know if he's tapped into this too. There was a mirror grid as well that the person that had visited Vegas mentioned specifically, and this may be a good time if you want to tap in and check in with your local field office or your higher self or your guides. And so there's a set of glasses that we use, and this is much like the frequency of the spacesuit, okay, or the golden boots if you're familiar with the golden boots. So these glasses, you can picture them however you want. We use the glasses. Mine is kind of like a helmet in a way, but specifically like focused on the visor. And you can ask your guides or the local field office for whatever frequency this looks like for you. It doesn't need to look like the way I'm describing it. And you put on these mirror glasses, and what they do is, first off, they connect you to your architect, your galactic architect. And number two, one of the benefits that Lenny channeled is that it also shields you from illusion. So you kind of get a twofold benefit. You get a connection to your galactic architect, higher multidimensional, so they can see through the glasses. They can see kind of the architecture because they're much higher in density and dimensions. So this lower density or dimension isn't easy, but if you put on the glasses, you can allow them to see through your eyes, through your glasses, and then also shield you from illusion. And we're talking about that mirror grid specifically, which is a distortion overlay. Lots of homeless people living in the tunnels. Thank you, Sharon. Gridding the homeless people too, as well, and then side mission in Chichen Itza. Okay. Okay, Christina's. Okay, let us know how that goes. Thank you. So if that frequency is useful to you as well. Yeah, I'm kind of being shown for that mirror grid that I was being shown, because the Luxor is kind of like, you know, glass. It's covered in glass, like glass shaped. And then the mirror grid that they were telling me about that they had detected and kind of got ensnared in, basically, which is really like a frequency of illusion. So the illusion was disorienting to this person enough that it impacted their physical body. So they were so disoriented, so tired, so drained energetically from being within the illusions of the actual mirror grid. Sharon said, sending angelic rays of colored light to the tunnels, feeling blue and or gold for the homeless people living in the tunnels. Absolutely. And you can unmute Sharon if you want to too. Love to hear your voice. And the side mission for Christina and Sharon, let me know when you guys feel mostly complete or when you get to 100%. Just please let us know. That way we can kind of check it off energetically on the list. I'm going to work on the mirror grid for a minute here. And if you're getting the ping for something, just type it into the chat or unmute and let us know, and then we'll basically tap in on what feels aligned for us and work towards that together.
I'm still holding on to the womb energy and the primordial water energy. That's my mission for this journey.
Which one was it? Say it again.
The primordial water and the womb energy, like the embryonic fluid. Yep. Linking with the primordial water connection.
Okay. I'll loop back to yours in just a minute here. Let me know how that goes. Thank you, Sharon. I got it. Yeah, if you're seeing something within your grid, please let us know too, because it helps everybody. Like the visualization and the words and the frequency, that's the purpose of us co-channeling together, is so that we can all kind of hop on to each other's task and assist energetically. And it's still like, you know, it's an attunement, it's a calibration, it's not a big deal, but I think it'll help us if we kind of co-communicate while we're working on these pieces of the grid.
Hey, I think I have a few minutes of semi-quiet. So let's see. I went to Chichen Itza 2009, I guess February. I stopped on my way there at a C note. I don't remember what the name of it is. I was trying to see if I could find the file with a couple of pictures in it, but I'll have to put that in the Telegram later. The experience I had was really trippy. When I went into the water, I went so low that like even like exhaling through my nose like wasn't enough. The water forced its way up into my nose and into like the left eustachian tube. And so then we went from there to Chichen Itza. By the time we got there, I was hurting. Like there was some pressure in that ear. And it was like, and I was hearing weird ringing. And I mean, that was probably one of the major things that preceded my like awakening. But as we got closer to different areas with water or tunnels on the tour, my ear pitch would change, sometimes like super bad, but sometimes almost melodic. And like I have no idea what the tour guide was saying because I was hearing things like the whole time, and I was just like taking pictures and totally like not totally. I was like that's the only thing I was really doing in that part of the reality was taking pictures and walking around and noticing what I heard and what I felt. The rest of me was off somewhere. So I'm really curious to see what happens when I look over the pictures, but it was something about the tunnels that connect, the water that connects. And I guess like the tunnels in us, like our anatomy. So like my eustachian tubes are, I have one that is like has an abnormality. It's like I can whistle out of my left eyeball, or like if I sneeze, I'll have like tears spray out of my left eyeball and like get on my glasses. So like that side's always been a little different, but it's definitely contributing to something. I don't know, words went away. So that's a further mission for later. But something connecting tunnels, connecting water, underground water, and like surrounding signs, because I feel like we all have interesting moments that like triggered some substantial change that has its own little details that stand out to us. So I don't know, lots of puzzle pieces, but I think it's going to be cool. I am complete.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Did you want to, Leslie, did you want to talk about the water elementals? Oh, you got to head out? Okay. All right. Water elementals done. Thank you. Yeah, were you connecting the Chichen Itza like primordial water, the tunnels? Were you like gridding that specifically like into Vegas, like, or was that something completely like separate? Cenotes.
No, that came up like at the same time. So
Okay.
it more seemed like I was kind of feeling into this unclear part still that connects it. You guys started bringing up the tunnels,
Yeah.
and I started seeing like, and I really wish I had a hollow table. But it was like one side of the hollow table had like the Mexico and the water tunnels, and then the tunnels underneath the pyramids, and then that kind of sparked the tunnels underneath pyramids all over the world. And then right before you guys had mentioned the tunnels under Vegas, and that just led to a whole bunch of really quick stuff that I still downloading. But it also feels like it's related to like my Mexico trip just now and other places all over the world.
Thank you. Vincent, do you have something, brother? See, I'm muted there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Good day, everybody. Yeah, when Christina is talking about her experience in Chichen Itza, it reminded me of like this year when when JJ did a pre Nexus Gridwork team with us, and they were in Mexico and going to the pyramids, and I'd been drawn to Chichen Itza for a long time, but what came through for me during that time was how worldwide there was an influx of um, disembodied beings who were infiltrating the lower fourth dimensional astral plane, basically. And what that what I how I see that, and I see that in people, like I can see people who are like engulfed in this, is like it's a fog that surrounds them, and it's usually in front of their eyes, surrounds their ears, um, it surrounds their heart, so that it's giving you false sense of reality. Basically, it's a fogging that gives you a false sense of reality, because what I got during that, and what I was shown by like my Lyran guide, was that the temples and the pyramids in Mexico and Guatemala and in like all over in that area were like basically the Lyrans had came in, and they brought in a certain frequency, but there was this infiltration after the medicine people started finding um, like things like ayahuasca and the mushrooms, that like it opened up into the lower fourth dimensional spaces and allowed them to see things, but a lot of it was ego driven, and this ego driven like was fed by this lower fourth dimensional entities who were permeating at that time into everything. And like I feel like there's a lot of that in Las Vegas, is like that, like when you're talking like I was shown by the Lyrans how to create this mirrored vortex that helps protect you. And like if it starts within your like heart and solar plexus, if you can spin this vortex that has mirrors, it reflects the what the like lower fourth dimensional back at themselves, so they think they're doing work on you, but it allows you to start to see through the mirror, and like allow you to see what your ego is seeing. And it kind of opens up your field and everything around you. And so that's kind of just something that was brought up, and that's kind of all the time I have at the moment. So I was just putting that in our fields to allow ourselves to see through the fog of these lower fourth dimensional entities who are they kind of feed on us. They, like a lot of people, feel them as attachments, I guess. And so, if you're willing to, at this time, I'll give a little bit of light language from the Lyrans to bring in that vortex, that mirror vortex, to open your heart and solar plexus up to be reflecting this ego amplifier away from yourself, and allowing you to bring in your true like divine self, basically, from mother and father. The mother father, like from the divine mother of creation, and the central sun are the divine mother and fathers. I like to call them. If you want to call them something else, I use your discernment for sure. But what'll pour in is the light, and that reflects back to you in these mirrors. It reflects the fog, but amplifies the light that can pour into you. nacha rutukushka ratano tukutush shike no hata ineke auto urut unache tati uno turuka na hechechi uturuka harata neku uchu ua hechechi etu rahe urutuk uno chuche oturtuk uno tu uche. Yeah, what I was getting a little bit of a vision of using this in Las Vegas. There's, I think the pyramid there is a mirror, has a mirrors on it. And so we can use that to bring the light into the crown of that, and whoever walks into there will be activated by this toroid of mirrors, basically the vortex of mirrors. They'll be activated that, and they can bring that with them into the rest of Las Vegas. So and they want to say, just trust in the inner light. You are protected. The mother and the father hold you dearly. And they say, we are well pleased with you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother, for bringing that in. What you described is exactly what, very similar to someone who had visited recently in Vegas who was telling me that they were experiencing. So I think that's critical that we anchored that frequency of light into kind of the top of the Luxor there at the crown, or the apex of the mirror pyramid, and then allowing that mirror pyramid to basically reflect and distribute, and almost like a facet. I was picturing like the light coming into the top, and then the facets of the actual pyramid itself, because it is a mirror itself, reflecting that out, covering the Vegas grid, activating the mirror vortex, or the mirror toroid that you described. So yeah, thank you for bringing that through, anchoring that template, anchoring that frequency. I'm going to read what Christina wrote here. Camera lens is having issues. Polarizing filter got left behind. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting the ping. Thank you for your shares. I'm getting the ping that since this is our first meeting, I want to basically, and we were calibrating, we've done quite a bit already. I want to basically start and kind of transition us into shifting into like the integration, and then closing this out. I know we typically go longer, but I feel like what we've done is enough for today. Leah, is that what you were drawing?
Yeah, that's what I received as I was channeling for the bloom on both cord and erotic fluid, and it's basically the reproductive system, and the mitochondria, like all of the cells within it, and the one on the top left, it's the point of conception, and then the right on the top right there, that's the womb itself, the fluids, and then this is the reproductive system on the bottom. So with that, I am complete for now.
And then Sharon wrote saying, Sharon, did you want to unmute or you want me to just read it? Totally up to you. You tell me. We're getting ready to shift here and close out.
Yeah, it was just guided. I didn't realise the file was so big. But I channeled this light language when I was connecting to the pyramids, and it was how the galactic beings were communicating with the pyramids. And now that we've cleared the Luxor Hotel, I get guided. I can place this light code in, and it'll help bring in the higher frequency, higher galactic frequencies. But it's like 12 meg. I thought I had a smaller version.
Yeah, thank you. And you said that you were guided to this place within the Luxor Hotel, and that is the pyramid that is like the black mirrors. It was channeled when connecting to the Great Pyramid. So the image that you share was channeled when connecting to the Great Pyramid can help to anchor in the higher vibrational galactic energies into the Luxor Hotel now, so that the energy is clearer. So yes, absolutely.
Well, now that we've cleared the energies in the Luxor Hotel, so because we've been working in the Luxor Hotel and the energy is a bit clearer, we can place the light code in to call in the higher frequencies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. It does make sense. Yeah, that was powerful. That feels good. And let me know when you feel complete with that too. We'll definitely, we've done quite a bit today, and this is again a first meeting, and we're kind of co-weaving, co-channeling. I'm just assisting with that anchoring that you were you brought through for us, and anybody else that feels aligned to assist as well. Complete, thank you. To 100. Yeah, just starting to shift and transition as we begin to integrate, begin to call into completion for now. This grid working session, our very first one in Las Vegas. Sending deep gratitude to all of the many frequencies that step forward to weave and assist with us today. All our brothers and sisters that are joining us. All right, Leah said she is complete as well. Thank you. Asking the record keepers and the Akashic record keepers to step forward, updating the Akash and our personal records for what we've done. Sending an update also to the local field offices, letting them know so that they can push that message out as well. Deep gratitude to all of the frequencies that step forward to assist with us. Christina says she is complete as well, being called to lay down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling integrating with your breath, signing with an infinity symbol. Yeah, just taking time afterwards, cleansing, clearing, energetically sealing this session, this container, encoding our mission logs as well, and updating those mission logs, sending them to Seth and Dave too, so that they are available, readily available to all of our brothers and sisters who are weaving with us. Anybody have any closing comments before we call it for today? Feel free to unmute.
Just thank you.
Yeah, mahalo, Glenn, for everything. Thank you for holding the space. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for being you. So much love and gratitude.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Every single person, the things that we do matter. They are very important, and just deeply, deeply grateful for your frequency, your showing up, your presence, your energy, your vibration, your contribution to all of the grids. And if it feels aligned, we will be doing galactic gridding tomorrow. And we'll continue weaving in the telegram. So you guys have a great rest of, I know it's nighttime where Sharon's out, rest of the afternoon wherever you're at, and wherever you're gridding with us, if you're watching the playback or listening to your otter, we will chat with you soon. See you later.